Hey, it's your girl Barbie J. Welcome to my channel. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here with a recap and review of Tyler Perry's other comedy drama, Zatima, Season 4, Episode 8, Family Affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Who remembers that song from back in the 70s by Sly and the Family Stone? Well, some of y'all are not even that old, but that was a big hit back then. Just Google it and check it out. Anywho, the synopsis for this episode reads, Zach gets a big surprise at the gym. Oh, yes, he does. Belinda mends fences with Fatima. Now that was surprising. And she comes face to face with Lori at the couple's pregnancy photo shoot. That was messed up how she acted there. And then Connie receives an unwelcome visit. Now I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't even remember Connie in this episode. So now I have to go back and watch. So before I get into this recap and review, if you're new here or if you're returning here and have not subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, please, and hit the subscribe button. Then hit the notification bell so to let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you hit that like button, which is the thumbs up button. That'll help my channel grow. Write a comment and join in the conversation because I'm always interested in what you have to say. And then share the video because sharing is caring, and that too will help my channel grow. As well as letting some of the ads play. Allow some of the ads to play through while you're watching the video because that helps my channel grow. Thank you. So now this episode begins with Zach coming into the gym. He's late. He has to do his reps. He's not even going to change his clothes. He's in his regular clothes. He's like, I got baby stuff to do. And so he does his exercises or reps or whatever with with his clothes on. And then they have Nathan acting crazy because he done took some testosterone pills and you're supposed to take like 2 every 24 hours. And he took 6, talking about 6 every 2 hours. And Zach's like, you dummy, you could have killed yourself. So next thing you know, police come in there asking for Zachary Taylor. The guys are acting like, I don't know what's going on, but they pointing him out. And I said, it's 2 females. I said, I wonder if these are strippers. Well, lo and behold, yes, they were strippers. Who brings strippers to the gym for a baby shower? I'll tell you who. Those 2 idiots, Nathan and Tony. Really, y'all? Really, really? So these fake police officers handcuff Zach, sit him down on a bench, and they proceed to take off their clothes and start dancing around. They're topless, but they have on bottoms and stuff. And they're dancing. He's like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with it. And Anthony and Tony are videotaping. He said, yo, stop recording this. Stop recording. He's yelling to the recording. Fatima, I ain't have nothing to do with this. I don't have nothing to do with this. Tony was like, wait, stop. He's uncomfortable with this. Let's stop. He told them to take the handcuffs off. Zach is like, what's going on? What are y'all crazy or something? And they were like, we scared that we're going to lose you. We don't have time for you. We didn't know when else to do this for you. I mean, here you are running around being a great father and a great husband. And now you're not going to be around for us. He said, what are you talking about? I'm going to be around here. I'm always going to be here. And so Zach is telling the 2 girls they need to back up away from him. He said, because my pregnant wife, she carries and she could come walking by here, pat, 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 and take all of us out. And he said, you can't do nothing with no hole. You can't shake no hole, no titties with holes in them. I said, Zach's so stupid. And they was like, wait, pregnant wife. They said, you trying to get this man killed or something like that? You told us he was a zaddy. This Zach ain't a zaddy. And they were like, well, and he said, Zaddy. Fatima said, I can't be called that. You can't be calling me Zach. And Nathan is like, oh, she always got to run everything through her. She always the one that got to do everything. And Zach's like, hold up. First of all, she don't control everything. He said, second of all, this is ridiculous. What is the real reason for this? And that's when they started admitting that they was going to lose him as a friend because he's trying to be the great father and husband and stuff like that. So it was a lot going on. And Nathan had the nerve to say, she ain't even your wife yet. And Tony told him to pause on that. You better pause on that. We ain't got time for semantics. So it was all that back and forth. And then he said, you can't kidnap me for the whole day because I have the photo shoot today. And Nathan's like, oh, I forgot. And Tony's like, you ain't forget, we didn't know about it, stupid. I was like, oh, Lord. So then Zach invited them. He said, how about if the Godfathers come and to the photo shoot? And they're like, Godfather, Godfather. And, they're like, wow. And but no, Nathan take it to another level. I am the Godfather. He started talking like a Godfather. And Zach looked at Tony and said, I should have just said you. He said, I know, you should have. I was like, why would you make Nathan a Godfather? He don't even take care of his daggone kids. He is the worst role model you would want to have around your kids. He may be loyal and fight for them or defend them and stuff like that. But other than that, he can't really teach them nothing but wrong right now, unless he start learning from his mistakes. So then they hear police sirens, and Tony's like, can you get arrested for stripping in public? And they were like, everybody started grabbing their stuff and running out the gym. The strippers had their stuff, they were gone. So now we over at the office at the law firm, and Fatima's running late. She has to go and meet Sage, and Angela comes in there to see how she's doing. And she's like, I got to do this and I got to do this. And Angela's telling her she need to calm down. She's doing too much because she hasn't even eaten lunch and she's running here and there. And so, Fatima's like, okay. But I said, well, hold up, Angela. How is it that you could tell her to calm down, but her man can't tell her to calm down? Remember, Angela told Zach, you're going to have to learn to stop telling women to calm down. No, he could say calm down, especially when you getting all out of pocket. But you could tell her, and her husband can't. Come on, girl, with that. But anyway, I don't know if they slipped up and noticed that. But if that's a word, a trigger word, she shouldn't be using it either. But Fatima snapped at her too about telling her what to do, because she said, okay, pick me up a sandwich and some chips. She said, no, I'm getting you a salad and a salmon. That baby needs some omega-3. And she was like, look, why everybody keep telling me what to do? You, Zach, my mom, my dad. And she's like, whoa, I'm sorry, for overstepping. And she was like, people are just trying to help you. They love you and stuff like that. But Fatima seemed to be concerned about losing her identity after having the baby, and Angela's telling her that's not going to happen, and Zach going to make sure it doesn't happen. And then she admitted that she owes Zach an apology because she yelled at him this morning, yesterday morning, the morning before that. She said, yeah, you owe him an apology. She said, people are bending over backwards just to be there for you and love you. She said, and that's because they care. And she said, I know, but I don't know. So she told Angela, okay, bring me a sandwich and a salad too. And she said, that's better, and left. Then we see Fatima and Sage. They're at Club Open Mic, and they're going over Sage's legal documents. But Sage is checking out the space, and they're going over all the particulars and different things that's going on. And Sage lets Fatima know that she could bring her people as well to the listening party. And Fatima saying how she hasn't told them, they're going to really lose their minds when they find out. And Sage was smiling. And then she told Fatima that she brings her own mic to these her performances, which is platinum. And Fatima said, I wouldn't expect anything less. And she's really impressed. And she said that if she were to sing, she would bring a solid gold diamond studded mic. And then Sage looked at her and said, you sing? And Fatima's playing low key, talking about maybe, but then she admitted that she does sing, but that she chose to do something more stable. And Sage said, oh, a dream deferred. And it reminded me of this play that I was in a few years ago. It was called To You, Mr. Hughes. And in 1951, Langston Hughes wrote a poem about a dream deferred, where he wrote a lot of poems like Rivers and other things like that. But that's what just clicked in my head when she said a dream deferred. So Sage admitted that if her mother weren't a singer, more than likely she would have done some type of job that was more stable, just like Fatima did. So Sage was saying, I guess there's good and bad in everything. And Fatima added, or sometimes we want what we don't have. And honestly, often it looks brighter on the other side when it might not be that. So now we have Fatima arriving home. Angela's already there. And Fatima want to know, where is Belinda? And she's like, she's going to be here. but she's fussing for no apparent reason. And she has a scarf on her head, which I'm not understanding. She was at work without a scarf. She met with Sage without a scarf. Somebody tell me why is there a scarf on her head now? Makes no sense. So Fatima is hoping she didn't make a mistake by asking Belinda to do it. And Angela let her know you didn't have any choice. And she said, and we're going to find that stylist who stole your deposit. And we're going to whoop her behind. And Fatima's like, nah, it's okay. Forget it. I was like, how is it okay? You done gave about a $40, $50 deposit. It's okay. Come on, you got money like that? Please. For people to ghost you? Nah. So Belinda coming there all happy to be the super stylist, the superhero stylist or something like that. She came in the door saying, and they're like, oh boy. And so she's like, okay, girl, sit down. Let's see what we working with. And when she take the scarf off, she acting like Fatima's hair smells or something. And Angela's like, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm sitting there going, you just saw her at work. How all of a sudden her hair looks so crazy? Why didn't you tell her at work, Belinda? But anyway, Belinda's like, but girl, no, that's okay because you just a glowing. And Belinda said, you're a beacon of light. I was like, they are ridiculous with these comments. So then Belinda's being real happy and she's like she had something to tell them and they're like, what? And she's like, I'm about to tell Nathan that I'm in love with him. And they like, what? And it's like, he's married. And she's like, so he been booing up with me and staying with me all this time. They said he's still married. He's what they call a hobosexual now. I didn't know what a hobosexual was, y'all. If anyone knows, put it down in the comment section because even Alexa didn't know what it was. He's just a homeless person who wants sex or something. I don't know. I have no idea what the definition of that. I don't know if they made that up or not, but y'all let me know down in the comment section. And so this got Fatima upset. She got up out of the chair and told Belinda that's why she can't fool with her because she has no respect for anyone's relationships. And she's like, what are you talking about? This can't be about just Zach. I mean, she's like, Zach, Nathan, Edwin in college. And she's like, Edwin in college. Remember you messed with his girlfriend and blah. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. So Angela told her she has an OPP problem. And Fatima said, and you need to stay away from my PP. And it didn't sound right. It sounds so funny. But if you know that OPP means other people's property. So Fatima saying you need to stay away from her people's property or whatever. But it was so funny. She said that didn't come out right. But in this same scene, we have both Angela and Belinda telling Fatima to calm down after she told Belinda to stay away, the hell away from Zach, she told her. And I was like, why is it they could keep telling her to calm down, but there's a problem with Zach says it? I'm just pointing it out as I see the storyline goes along. Just wanted y'all to know. But then we have Angela telling her to stay away from all her men's. And Fatima's like, you have no respect for the sister code. And they just went in on her. And that's when we see Angela realizing that this is something more. It's not about Zach. And we see Fatima's insecurities coming out. She's like, what if Zach doesn't like my baby fatter and runs into a woman like you who, who don't mind messing with somebody else's man and stuff. And so they're like, that's not going to happen. She said, ain't nobody thinking about Zach's little peanut head and all this stuff. I said, girl, last week you were still thinking about it. Give us a break, okay? Just like, so Angela's like whispering to Belinda, you better fix this. You better fix this now. So Belinda's like, Fatima, she said, I've been around a lot of men who were in relationships and stuff. She said, they got a vibe. There's a vibe that they have that Zach don't have that vibe. She said, you have a man who don't just love you. He respects your ass. She said, and sadly, you have a friend who made a mistake and will never cross you like that again. And she said some more stuff, and Fatima kind of like softened up and said, look, my hormones are all over the place. I don't know what's going on. And then Zach came downstairs talking about, did somebody say hormones? And they like, hi, Zach. And then he looked at Fatima, was you crying? She said, no, me and Belinda just made up. And he was like, what? And Belinda's like, really? So Belinda goes over there, hugs her. And then Angela hugs, and Zach said, oh, I guess I should hug too. And she's like, boy, if you don't get your ass away from me. He said, okay, I'm going upstairs. I'll leave the teddy bear down here. So that was a nice scene. And so then Fatima told her, I forgive you, but I will not forget. And Angela said, I respect you too, girl. Now let's get your hair done. So then we see the photo shoot and the friends sitting around excited at the pictures are being taken. And then you see Fatima and Zach ask them to get in the picture. And then that's how they got a group photo shoot. And so now it's over. Everybody's sitting around talking. When Zach and Tony notice Nathan pacing around, so they go over there to find out what's going on. And he want to know why Belinda's there. And he's letting them know that Belinda and Fatima made up. He said, well, I done messed up really bad. What's up? Lori's on her way there. What do you mean Lori's on her way there? Yeah, we needed to talk. So I said we could talk here. And at that moment, knock, knock, knock at the door. And Angela goes to answer it, and Zach and them are like, oh, shoot. And when she opened that door, it's Lori. And she just stepped in without even being invited in. And she said, oh, I'm here to see Nathan or something like that. And she said, he's right over there. And when she see all those people, she's like, I thought it was just going to be me, you, Zach, and Fatima. And he said, I didn't know it was this going to happen. So they're just like, hi, Lori. And Lori let them know that they have acrimony issues or something like that. And that's why they had to meet on common ground. Whereas dumb Nathan was like, well, we had to meet somewhere because we have knives and bats in the house. And I was like, oh, Lord, he is an idiot. So anyway, Lori offers congratulations to Fatima and tell her she looked beautiful. And then here comes Belinda. Is this your wife, Nathan? And Lori's like, who wants to know? She's like, tell him, Nathan, tell him here, Belinda. Being messy. Belinda being all the way messy at somebody else's house, starting drama. Your girl is here pregnant, and you starting mess on a beautiful day. And so then she said, he not going to tell you. I tell you, when y'all was going through y'all little separation thing, he was on my couch and in my bed. And Lori looked at him, and he was looking at Lori, and Lori went to go and snatch up Belinda. And Belinda said, what up, biatch? And Zach and Tony ran to stop Lori. Fatima grabbed Belinda's arm and then said, Lori, don't start no mess in here. And it was like crazy. But see, that's on Belinda, really, because Belinda started that mess, not Lori. And then the episode ended with Connie. I forgot about this part, y'all. I kept saying, what happened with Connie? Yeah, Connie was laying on that couch, knocked out, and you could hear her saying, y'all be quiet in there. But I swear I didn't hear no kids inside. I heard kids outside. And she finally get up to answer the door because somebody's knocking. And I said, I bet you it'd be somebody like social services. I said it. I knew it. And sure enough, Child Protective Services is there looking around her house. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way they're going to take those kids away from her because she's going through cancer. They may try to work with her and see if there's family members or something who can help. I'm wondering who in that neighborhood would have called on her and reported her for the fact that this is one of those urban areas, kind of like a projects. I mean, wasn't this where Zach was brought up and stuff? So everybody's going through some trauma or something in that area, low income, you know what I mean? So I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens. Put it down in the comment section what y'all think, and I will see you all in the next video. This was a great episode as always. It's your girl Barbie J saying, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Peace.